turn.
Okay, now the horse to watch is Right Against the Rails. That's the horse in the red and yellow getting flattened. That is Champagne. That's Jezebel outside of her, and the winner is in the red cap and the second horse in the blue and white. She certainly got cleaned up, Simon, didn't she?
Yeah, she certainly did. She just seemed to be really coming into the race, and look, when the momentum's lost at that stage of a race, she's just got no hope of picking it back up and getting into it, and at that stage the horse had bolted as such, and England are taking the cup home.
Yeah, England have taken the cup home. The sirens just sounded to Caulfield. We're awaiting news. I think it's probably to give the deductions with the late scratching of Fairform. Watching from the turn home, let's look at this from a Melbourne Cup point of view. Now, there's the winner in the red cap going to the lead in the nose roll. There is a protest, incidentally, in the Caulfield Cup. Just stand by.
Yes, Chris Muntz is the man that's putting in the protest, and it is actually against the winner, alleging interference in the straight.
So there we go. There is a protest in the Caulfield Cup by Chris Muntz, the rider of Jezebel. Jezebel has protested against the winner for interference in the home straight. Now, Jezebel, number 13, has not finished in the first 5. I'm not exactly sure of her finishing position, but he was the one that got cleaned up, and he actually knocked Champagne down, if you noted. And Muntz has protested against the winner, Torthorn's Melody. He was certainly interfered with, but I think, Simon, that it'd be a major step, because it's got to have made a difference to the result, and I doubt if Jezebel would have beaten Torthorn's Melody.
Yeah, that's going to be the key. That's what the stewards are really going to have to make their mind up on. And look, this has been a Caulfield Cup that's been full of thrills and spills and controversy all week, and it's all over, but it hasn't stopped yet.
It hasn't finished. It certainly hasn't finished. Poor Colin Alderson, he's sitting at home. Only 17 went round in the Caulfield Cup. He probably should have got a run. That wasn't the case, and our unicorn was balloted out. The horse who was invited by the committee, Torthorn's Melody, is first over the line, and the crowd's absolutely stunned by the protest. There was major interference, there's no doubt about that. The horse came across, and there in the steward's room is Des Gleeson about to... there's Chris Muntz sitting there. Muntz will give his evidence shortly. Lady Herries is in the background there with the nice hat on, and Ray Cochrane, of course, has just joined them.
Yes, if you thought racing was all glitter and fun and no pressure, cop this. There's a lot of people under pressure in that steward's moon at the moment. Ray Cochrane, Lady Harris has gone from easily winning a Caulfield Cup to now not knowing what's going on. Chris Muntz, he wants his to say. I think you could see him in our replay that when he did get chopped out there, he was actually yelling and screaming while he was on top of the horse. He wasn't happy. He's going to have his say. This is real racing pressure.
Okay, let's see if we can pick up some of the action from the steward's room.
Most interference in the straight.
That's correct.
Could you go ahead? Oh, now, as Chris Muntz and the connections of Jezebel have viewed the video patrol of that particular section of the race, we'll now show the video to all people involved in the protest, and then get submissions in respect of the objection.
The stewards are watching the video at the moment. The video is being shown to connections, and you'll be able to see that. And this is a rare insight to actually hear what the stewards have to say, and we'll stay with it as long as we possibly can. I see Max Presnell, the Sydney pressman, at the back there, taking notes, and there is the connections. Chris Muntz here with the yellow sash on, and there is Ray Cochrane, who rode the winner in blue and white stripes. Of course, he's taken his red cap off.
And many can have a say in an inquiry such as this. Not only the jockeys and the trainer, but all of the connections. The owning connections can also have something to say.
Yeah, we'll just see if we can pick it up again. The stewards, of course, have many different camera angles. They have different vision to what you've probably seen on the wide world of sport. There's another angle which we obviously didn't see taken from behind. There's, I think, all told about 7 different camera angles that the stewards look at when assessing interference and assessing protest. Now, when you right against the rails near the lead is Champagne. That's Jezebel outside of her, and the winner comes across. You'll see her come across now, Torfern's Melody, or him come across. He certainly gets in. Watch Chris Muntz here. He's probably yelling out at this point. Up in the irons he goes. He's trying to stay aboard. And, well, Eddie Wilkinson on Champagne, how he didn't go over the inside running rail is amazing. I'll say this, I doubt if Torfern's Melody will lose the race, but I'm quite sure that Ray Cochrane won't be riding. He'll get a suspension.
Yeah, look, the key here is just how far that Torfern's Melody comes in. I would say at least a horse and a half, if not two. Now, the stewards have really got to judge whether Ray Cochrane took the right action to straighten his horse and for the safety of others and to give the horses inside of him a fair run.
Of course, I shouldn't prejudge the gentleman, but let's say this, it doesn't look good. Now, have a look at it again. He's the horse in the red cap 3 deep. That's Champagne on the rail, Jezebel in the centre in the green cap. Now, over comes the winner. You can see him heading towards the rail. Now, something's got to happen, and the horse outside of him, the second place getter, followed him over, and wow, up in the air goes Chris Muntz, and back out of the race goes Champagne. Lisa's Game also came in on top of Torfern's Melody, Simon.
Yeah, certainly did come in on top of Torfern's Melody. Why a horse would do that? A lot of horses like to run along the rail, particularly when there's pressure. They look for something to guide them. That's what Torfern's Melody's done. And
a lot of his racing in England would have been in a clockwise direction, not anti-clockwise, and then coming back, leading off the other leg. Sometimes Sydney horses, for instance, in Melbourne, try to lay in.
Yeah, Chris Muntz looks very calm there, sitting in the chair. I can tell you, I bet halfway up the straight here at Caulfield, his heart was right in his mouth.
Well, there's no doubt that there's major interference. That's one thing that you don't need to be Sherlock Holmes to work out. That's Lisa's Game coming in on Torfern's Melody. Did they actually touch? I'm not sure. Torfern's Melody and Jezebel certainly touched. And Tie the Knot finishing on there into third place. A little bit disappointing, I thought, Tie the Knot. He had a beautiful run. But interest now is in this protest. If you're on Torfern's Melody, if you've got the $58 dividend, well, I'm sure you're worried. You've got to always be worried. But, well, if he loses the race, of course, it goes to Lisa's Game. It is demotion, not promotion in protest. Jezebel has got no hope. She doesn't get promoted. The new placings would be Lisa's Game first, Tie the Knot second, and Faithful Son third. Let's go back to the stewards and listen to what they've got to say in the inquiry.
So I definitely believe upon entering the straight, I'd established my run well and truly inside of Jockey Cochrane's horse, and as you can see by the film, at no time has he ever attempted to try and straighten his horse. He just continually rode his mount into my horse, causing her to go in onto Champagne on the fence and causing the most severe interference that you'd want to see in a Group 1 event. Had my mare been any lesser horse, there's no doubt in my mind that she would have fell. Not only that, the amount of interference that she has come under has certainly cost her far more than the lengths of 2 lengths. I believe it's costed the margin of at least 6, and I believe that she certainly would have won the race. Knowing the way that she was feeling and coming on into the race, she was certainly just picking up momentum all the time, and I have no doubt that she would have won the race except for the interference.
All right, is that all you wish to say now?
No, sir.
Ray Cochrane, do you wish to question Chris Muntz on his submission?
No, sir.
Will you go ahead and make a submission of your own?
I eased off the fence about by the 600 mark down the back. Mr. Muntz and another horse drew up on the inside, approaching straight, which I knew they were. I picked my whip up on the right. The 2 horses on the inside had every chance to make their run. I never made any ground on me, maybe half a length where they stayed, the whole length of the straight. I heard Mr. Muntz shout that my horse, I knew my horse was drifting left, because the horse on my immediate outside started to run down the track too. As soon as I heard Mr. Muntz shout, you see me put my whip down, straighten my horse, ride him out hands and heels to the line, sir. In my indication, I give him the inside run, him on the other horse. He never made no ground. I knew he was there, and the interference was actually it, sir.
Well, is that all you wish to say now?
Yes, sir.
Chris Muntz, do you wish to ask Ray Cochrane any questions on his submission?
I don't have any questions to ask, sir. I'd just like to state I don't believe the outside horse had any bearing whatsoever on it. I thought it was just Mr. Cochrane's horse. He just continued allowed it to roll in.
Well, in fairness to him, you have made a statement. Do you wish to respond to that, Ray Cochrane? No. Mr. Jenkins, any questions of either rider or any submissions of your own?
No, sir. I think Mr. Muntz has covered it pretty well.
Mr. Burr, any questions or observations?
No, I think Mr. Jenkins and Mr. Muntz have spoken on our behalf.
Right. Lady Herries, do you wish to question either rider or make a submission?
No, I think it's been covered.
No. The margins between first and second, a short neck, a long neck between second and third, a length between third and fourth, a short head between fourth and fifth, and a long neck between fifth and sixth. All right, any questions from the steward?
No.
No, if you all wait outside, we'll give consideration to the objection. Thank you.
Okay, well, the parties leave the steward's room. I think it is quite relevant, the point that Ray Cochrane brought up, as to whether Lisa's game actually contributed to the interference. But all those questions will be studied by the stewards. We'll get a fair result, and we'll know it shortly here on the Wide World of Sport. Let's take a break now and then come back with the decision on the Caulfield Cup.
Come on, spring, do your thing. Yes, you know.
Well, still waiting on a result on the Caulfield Cup. Simon O'Donnell, it'd be absolutely amazing if a horse running sixth succeeded in a protest against a horse running first, and the winner then would be relegated back to sixth placing, and the sixth horse would only go forward to fifth.
Yeah, I think that's a key consideration. You know, I don't know whether Champagne and Chris Munce's ride were actually going to knock over the winner. Yeah, they might have been a little closer, but I'm not sure whether they were going to knock it over. That's for the stewards to decide.
It's all hypothetical. But while we're waiting on that result, the Tattersalls Cup was run, or the City Tattersalls Cup was run at Randwick while the stewards' inquiry was on. Let's pick up the last 800 metres.
Is pulling very hard on the inside of Lucky Bear. Indianapolis covering ground around He's a Dane. Simone centre field defence. 2 lengths away Shaske. He's on the outside of Pescadero. 2 lengths to Hickey Picker. Jack and Archie Praise Indeed. Perpetual Check and Subway. Coming off the back, 9.50 to go. And the front runner is Bridal Man, running along at a good clip too. He led by 2 lengths on Ken's Court. A length away Party Bell and the Grey Harmonia. And they've raced away by 3 lengths on Lucky Bear. Then Indianapolis, 1 man out on the fence. Simone is in traffic, being passed by He's a Dane, and Shaske starting to improve around the outside. 2 lengths away is Pescadero, Jack and Archie. Perpetual Check, Praise Indeed is deep on the track from Hickey Picker, and 2 lengths to Subway on the final bend. 500 metres to run. Bridal Man given a cut with the whip, turns in front. Ken's Court ranging up alongside of him. 3 lengths away Harmonia, coming to the outside, running on Lucky Bear and Shaske and Simone coming with their runs together from He's a Dane. On top of the rise, 300 to go, and Ken's Court had moved to the front from Bridal Man. Shaske under the grandstand coming home, and here's Bart's Boy. Perpetual Check on the outside. Perpetual Check went to them as if they were glued to the fence and shot to the lead. He's a Dane ran to second from Shaske, but it's Perpetual Check's Cup. Another one for Bart. Races home to win. 3 lengths to He's a Dane and Shaske. Then Ken's Court, Simone, Lucky Bear. They were followed by Praise Indeed, Jack and Archie. Then further back in the field, a Bridal Man, Pescadero, Harmonia, Indianapolis, Hickey Picker, 1 man out. Party Bell and Subway was last of all.
Well, if anyone can train a Cups winner, Bart Cummings can, and that's Perpetual Check, swamping them on the outside. He's a Dane runs into second place. Shaske third, Ken's Court fourth in the black and yellow colours. But quite a clear win by this promising young stayer, looking for the 2,400 metres, and he got it today, and he went on to win with ease. He's a Dane finished second, and Shaske third. Okay, the dividends on 10, 5 and 1, $6.10 for the winner as we await the Caulfield Cup protest result. That was the dividend. We're just about to hear the Caulfield Cup result here at Caulfield, and Simon O'Donnell, he's close by. He'll find the result out as soon as it is announced. But a lot of tension, as you can imagine. The horse copped a very, very bad check, Jezebel, but it's, you know, it's just hypothetical whether she would have won anyway, and we're waiting for the stewards.
Yeah, a lot of the press photography on in both camps. They don't know whether Tony Vassell is going to actually train the winner of the Caulfield Cup. There's half over with him. There's half with Sir Colin Cowdrey and the Lady Hera's group of owners here from England. It's absolutely an amazing atmosphere. There's people walking around and they're not sure where to look, what to say or what to do at present, because it ain't all over.
It ain't all over, Simon, and by golly, you know, it'd be hard to imagine more severe interference. Like if Jezebel had run second, beaten the length and a half, I think she'd have got the race for sure.
Yeah, look, that's the thing. she hasn't finished that far away. We heard Des Gleeson, the chairman of stewards, read out the actual distances between each horse. So, look, Jezebel hasn't been that far away, and you've got to understand the momentum that horse lost at that particular part of the race. Gee, it's a lot, and you never make it up.
Darren Beedman caught up with Ray Cochrane when he came out of the protest room. Here he is.
Well, Ray, the rider of Torford's Melody, it's not a nice feeling having to wait to see if before correct weight, but what were your thoughts coming out of there?
Well, it's always a nerve-wracking experience coming out of the stewards room when you're after one deemed to cause interference. That's racing, we'll have to hope we'll keep it, and that's it, you know.
He obviously gave you a good ride throughout the race?
Yeah, he gave me a good ride. He's a nice little horse, he's tough, he's very professional about his job, and the trainer's trained him well for the day. It's very funny, because I thought he would actually have a better chance in the Melbourne Cup in this race.
Yeah.
They must have a big chance there.
Yeah. Well, all the best, Ray.
Thank you very much, mate. Thank you.
Well, I was obviously given the wrong mail when they pointed out to me that it was about to be announced, because it is still lingering. It is still, I was going to say in the lap of the gods, but it's in the lap of the stewards. What will happen? Darren Beedman, what's your thought?
I was down in the stewards room when the jockeys were giving evidence, and you know, it was no doubt that you know, the other horses like shifted in, but he was only a neck behind. Jezebel was only a neck behind Torford's Melody, and whatever chance he had, he just eliminated him out of it. If the horse had probably battled on to run second or third, he was a chance, but the horse probably got beaten 3 or 4 lengths, and it's a big margin. So, you know, I just really think, I find it hard to see it over.
As a jockey, do you get a feel for what's going on down there, Darren? The longer it goes, the better hope you've got if you're on the wrong side of it?
Yeah, but really the film sort of, you know, displays it all, you know, when you're in there, and you can really see the margins that the horse had to make up. I just don't really see that, you know, I might be talking out of place here, but I really just see that the ground that the horse had to make up was just too much.
OK, well, they're going back into the stewards room now, so we'll certainly get a result very shortly. Here it comes now. The siren is being sounded. Just stand by and we'll give you the result.
Where's everyone?
Just waiting for all parties to come into the room. Once all parties are in the room, Mr. Gleeson, the chief steward, will announce the result. And just a few people. Protest dismissed in the Caulfield Cup. We can tell you that's the announcement Mr. Gleeson will make. The protest has been dismissed.
Well, what a great feeling it must be for Connections. Well, it is Torford's Melody. It stood around a long time and had to wait itself. It is now being sashed with the Caulfield Cup rug, deservedly so. And it'll be interesting to just see the wash-up of all this and the opinion of Des Gleeson and how he actually saw that interference, how he saw the race was going. Obviously, he thought the interference that Jezebel was not going to actually beat Torford's Melody.
Let's listen to Mr. Gleeson.
To uphold the objection, they'd have to be satisfied that Jezebel would have beaten Torford's Melody home without the interference. With the margin the way it is, the stewards were not satisfied in their own minds that the interference did affect the result of the race, so therefore the objection it is dismissed and the placing stand. Thank you, but we'll see both your riders before you leave the course.
Yeah, well, there it is. You heard it straight from the chief steward's mouth, and I think that he'll certainly see Ray Cochrane before he leaves the course, Darren.
I think he'd be trying to do an exit stage left straight to Tullamarine.
I think he can go for a holiday, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, actually, he was going to be able to ride. He wanted to ride in the Breeders' Cup meeting, and he asked me the question, do you think they'll suspend me on that? I said, I don't like your chances, mate.
Darren, very wise words from Darren Beedman on the future of Ray Cochrane as we take another break on this special Caulfield Cup edition of the Wide World of Sports.
They let him out for the...
Talk about an excited lady. There she is, Lady Herries, cheering home Torford's Melody. And I reckon at that point he just cleared the winning post, and why wouldn't she be excited? And well, all the owners are there to give her a hug, and that's what you train horses for. That's why you buy horses, to try and win the big ones. And she won one of the big ones, being congratulated there by Richard Zachariah, the Sydney journalist. 9, 18 and 3. Torfin's Melody, $58.30 and $13.40. 18 Lisa's Game, a game second, $10.50. Tie the Knot third, paid $1.80. The Quinella paid $9.42.30, and the Trifecta $2,604.10 on 9, 18 and 3. Let's go to the presentation.
Honourable Ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Carlton United Breweries is very proud to be a major sponsor of the VATC, and in particular with its flagship brand, Foster's, linked with a great race, the Foster's Caulfield Cup. We at Carlton appreciate the opportunity to support sport, and in particular support racing in Victoria and throughout Australia. Congratulations to you, Mr. Chairman, and your committee of the VATC. You have produced another magnificent 4 days of racing, culminating here today with this classic event. The tens of thousands here today in attendance at this superb course are testimony to the broad appeal of this great race. It's an event of which all Victorians can be very proud, and it has surely set the scene for another exciting spring racing carnival. Congratulations to the connections, the All at Sea Syndicate, to the trainer, Lady Harries, the jockey, Ray Cochrane, and the strapper, Andrea Oakley. And let's acclaim the great winner, Torfin's Melody. Well done. Now, on behalf of Foster's, it's my pleasure to invite the Honourable Sir James Gobbo, the Governor of Victoria, to present the trophies to the 1998 Foster's Caulfield Cup winner.
Just interrupting for one moment, there's a late scratching in the race coming up. Number 2, Spectrum, taken out at 4:44 on Vet's Advice. Late scratching, race 8, number 2, Spectrum, 4:44, Vet's Advice.
And over these trophies, I want to add my congratulations on what has been a wonderful Caulfield Cup day. The Foster's Caulfield Cup has been very, very full of excitement, not only in the race and in the aftermath. And all of that has been delightful for this very, very big crowd. Now, I've got great pleasure in asking Mr. Edmonds to come forward and accept this cup as representing the owners. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to thank the Honourable Sir James Gobbo, Governor of Victoria, Mr. Peter Lawrence, the Chairman of the VATC, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Warren Brown, Vice President and General Manager of Southern States of Carlton United Breweries and Foster's Lager. I must say it's got to be one of the greatest days of my life, well, apart from when my children got born, I suppose. But we knew he was a tough horse, and I knew once he hit the front, he'd be hard to catch. A little bit of interference in the stretch, but I don't think they were coming to him. And I'd like to thank the Australian people. They've been very kind to us, inviting us here, and I'm just pleased we did it. That's all, after all the controversy. Thank you very much.
Lady Harries.
The trainer, Lady Harries. Oh, wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That's terrific. You must be very proud.
Thank you very much, I am.
Terrific effort.
Yes.
You were here last year, and I hope you'll come back again.
Sure we will.
Terrific.
Yes,
well done.
Thank you very much. Sir James Gobbo, Governor of Victoria, Mr. Peter Lawrence, Chairman, and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Warren Brown, Vice President and General Manager, Southern States, Carlton and United Breweries, thank you all very, very much. It's been the greatest day in my racing life, and I'm just thrilled to bits, and thank you all for making it all so wonderful. Thank you.
Lady Harries accepting her trophy as the winning trainer of the 1998 Caulfield Cup. And on that note, we'll take a break and then be back with more racing on the wide world of sports.
Adjusting for...
Yeah, that's my ambition.
If you could
To win the Cox Plate, that's all I want.
Well, that was my next question, Jack. You've done it all. Golden Slippers, Melbourne Cups. Is this the one you really want?
That's the one that's got away, John.
Next Saturday on Wide World of Sports, will Jack Denham claim the missing jewel in his crown? We'll take you trackside at Moonee Valley when the champion Might and Power races Australia's best thoroughbreds for turf history in the Weight for Age Championship of Australia. The Cox Plate, live on the one and only Wide World of Sports.
Well, the Caulfield Cup was big today, and the Cox Plate will be just as big next week. After that most controversial Caulfield Cup, Darren Beedman spoke to the losing jockeys. Here's what some of them had to say.
Eddie, the rider of Champagne at the furlong mark, you got a little bit squeezed up. What were her chances at that point of the race?
She was actually just, letting down, coming to the race quite nice. Ended up getting put up the fence. I think the second horse got in on top of the winner and pushed us in, and I ended up running out of room on the fence, and that was the end of me. I mean, it was a crucial stage, and I think she probably would have weighed in,
Yeah, all right then, thanks very much, mate. Well, Aaron, that must have been a big thrill for you to run second in the Caulfield Cup. How did you have a run throughout the race?
She had quite a nice run from 16. I was about 4 wide coming out past the winning post the first time, and I was 3 wide outside Darazari. And as Ray Cochrane passed me, just coming past the mile, he rolled to the front, and I just followed him and sort of sat in 3rd position outside On Air. And from then on, she had a beautiful run from there, just in 3rd place all the way. She fought off On Air on the turn and was just, the winner to beat, but we just couldn't hold her off.
Well, it must have been a big thrill for you coming down the 100-metre mark.
It was. I actually, at no stage of the race, I thought I was going to win. I was just waiting for something like Tyler not to come down the outside, but getting closer and closer to the post, it was just unbelievable feeling.
Well, Brett, the run at the hind, you seemed to have a good run going up the hill, and then you got shuffled back a little bit. How was his run from a Melbourne Cup point of view?
From a Melbourne Cup point of view, I thought, today in the race from the half mile, I'll give him a bit of daylight, and he was going to tow me right in the race at 600. I was travelling probably better than any horse in the race, I thought, and when I straightened up, he never really let down and quickened, so maybe he's just looking for the 2 mile now.
Overall, what do you think of your horse's run?
Just died on his run the last bit. He's run well. I would have liked a bit more pace on in the middle stages, Darren. Look, I had a beautiful run the whole way. I couldn't have wished for a better run. I got out at the right time, and he ran very similar to the Derby. He might just be a type of horse who needs that one hard run over ground before he gets to ground, Do
you think that last run, last start, where he just had a nice cushy run where he couldn't get out, if he would have had a hard run, do you think that might have told the story?
I think now it would have. I think it didn't help us at all. Like, he's realistically only had one hard run this preparation, and that was when he won the Underwood Stakes. And maybe that might have helped him if he could have had that hard run, but that's hindsight. But the best thing is, he's not going to be penalised for the Melbourne Cup. He's going to be awfully hard to beat in the Melbourne Cup with 55.5 on that run.
Did you suggest to the owners that you'd back him up in the McKinnon Stakes?
Oh, he'll definitely run in the McKinnon Stakes. He's got it.
Good, thanks, Shane.
We were now going to bring you race 8 from Caulfield, the Tristarc Stakes, but because of the delay with the protest, the VATC have put back the running of the race by 25 minutes, and unfortunately, due to programming commitments, we cannot now show you that race. So I'm very sorry, I apologise, but we can't show you the Tristarc Stakes. Here's Maxie Walker.
Thank you very much, Kenny. Well done there today. Absolutely unforgettable, and I guess I've got to say our dramatic and controversial race may be run here at Caulfield. Still plenty of great sport, though, coming your way on 9 tonight through to Monday evening. Record-breaking Mark Taylor and his men resume battle with highlights from the second test against Pakistan in Peshawar. And then we're off to the Wentworth Club in Surrey for the concluding rounds of the World Match Play Golf Championship. Tomorrow, one-day cricket action comes from Adelaide Oval, where South Australia meets Western Australia in the Mercanile Mutual Cup. Then next Saturday, we'll take you live to Moonee Valley for the Weight for Age Championship of Australia, the BMW Cox Plate, as Might and Power races for a piece of turf history. OK, we trust that you've enjoyed today's incredible coverage of the Caulfield Cup meeting. Until we meet again, it is bye for now.